Welcome to Meditated Art for today's painting. Another winter scene, Alpine cabin in the woods, and just speeding through this. One of these days I will get a video under a half an hour without having to speed it up, but today wasn't the case. It never feels like it takes that long, so it's kind of hard to judge, and I ended up stopping the recording for whatever reason. I can't remember because this was actually yesterday. I got started a little bit later than usual, or that I wanted to, because we had a bit of a scare last night. When my husband got into work, he received an email saying that one of the people that was at the luncheon last week, that my husband happened to be sitting kind of across from, one over but across, tested positive for COVID, and we're supposed to be leaving in 2 days, 3 days for our Dominican trip. And so, yeah, there was a lot of panic because this would be our second trip that got canceled. Last year we tried to go visit home, but WestJet decided to strike, and our flight got canceled and they didn't go on strike. So yeah, that was fantastic. So we decided to book this trip because both of us are majorly stressed. We need some relaxation, and then that. So yeah, trying not to let myself get too excited in case if there's disappointment again. Even though my husband said that I could go without him, I don't want to go without him. Come on. But seems to be doing better today, which is nice. So I ended up doing this painting a little bit late yesterday. Had to stop a couple of times for various reasons, and it took forever to download. And then I was just too tired, went to bed. So doing it this morning. So beautiful sky in purples and pinks, and doing the background, hills in the distance in a pretty blue-green color. And the one thing that I've learned with the painting, especially for the mountains where there's trees, is having the brush strokes go in the direction of the subject. So when I'm painting the trees, even though you can't see them, I still have my brush strokes going vertically, because that's the way trees grow. So if you do actually see brush strokes, it like it just kind of makes sense. And so darkening the color of the trees, and using the fan brush, had a blank there. I'm definitely noticing that using the fan brush on smaller trees like this isn't easy. It is not easy because I didn't want the branches pointing up. I wanted them in a different direction, and it was just too hard. So I just, did what I could, and they still look like trees, so it's not like I'm disappointed. Though sticking that big tree in the middle of the crease of the book was kind of a mistake. I thought it would be a neat transition from one page to the other, but it just kind of sucked trying to paint it. So lesson learned. And I've also noticed that trying to get coverage with the fan brush is impossible. It doesn't work out terribly well. So I'll go in with a different brush to fill in. and then go in with different colors. Oh, just a few more happy little trees. So I'm basically using the same color that the background mountains were done in, but I added a little bit of brown and a little bit more green. Yeah, there we go, into the other brush. Can't quite see it, but the paint was a little bit thin, so it wasn't covering very good. I'm just trying to make sure that any brush strokes, again, make sense to the painting. So there we go. So now I've added in a little bit of white, or will be. And again, using the fan brush, I will be adding in a little bit of detail in the branches. Yeah, so a little bit of finagling with the direction of the fan brush, but not too bad. Definitely growing to love using the fan brush, but I don't know if they even have any smaller brushes than this. This one's pretty small. So doing the upper branches, kind of pointing up, and then as I move down the tree, I'm moving the brush in a more horizontal position, because obviously the tree branches are going to be a little bit heavier, so they'll droop a little bit more. And because it is winter, I'm adding a little bit of snow onto the trees. Decided to change brush. Because it's not fresh snow, it's just there. I'm not covering the whole tree, just adding the snow where it might be clinging on to the branches. It's not going to be on every branch, but just the ones that look like it would support the weight of the snow. I'm just kind of following the line of the brush strokes as well. And just now moving into the cabin. Got some snow on the roof. Now, this particular cabin is a little bit more interesting because it's a log cabin, which I liked at the time, but uh, painting it was definitely a lot more challenging when it came to the ends of the building, because of course there's the interlocking logs with the exposed ends. So it was a little bit more challenging than I was expecting, but I'm pleased with the results. And I have watered down the paint quite a bit, as you can see here, um, mostly to get the undertones of the red. But then I'll go um, in with a couple of different shades of brown. Just letting that dry a little bit and painting the snow on the roof. Now, I'm not going right to the edge at this point because the paint is still wet and I don't want it to bleed into the snow. And just trying to capture the weathered look of the logs. Now I did work with this this area um, when the paint was still a little bit damp, because when wood and logs, especially a log cabin, when it gets weathered, it's uneven. So having the paint kind of bleed into each other uh, gives that impression of the weathering. I'm just going to start with the snow. I like the foreground in this particular painting. It's rather simple, just some shadows in the snow and that I feel that it balances quite nicely with the rest of the painting. think that's almost it. Oh, nope. I am missing a couple of things. But we're getting close. Yeah, so we got the, I don't know, braces, hinges on the door. Oh, yes, and some icicles. Found a different thickness of tape, and it is pretty much perfect for what I need. So that's good. Forgot a little tree that was poking up behind the cabin, and a little chimney flue, I guess. There we go. Thank you for watching.